Mark Daly for Task Force TV with a very familiar face to viewers of Task Force TV, Reverend Darlene Nipper. Darlene, how are you this morning?
I'm feeling great this morning, Mark. Thank you. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. Although I must say, it is snowing outside in DC. You might not be able to see it through the window of the rather warm, I'm delighted to say, building that we're in right now. We're at the U.S. Supreme Court, just a few yards away, and Darlene, we're here for a very important reason, right?
That's right. This is a very important case that's being heard before the Supreme Court today. So important because, once again, the right is trying to use religious liberty in order to wield discrimination, frankly, and to ensure that there's no freedom for people like myself, for employees and allowing corporations to act as people, really, to say that, hey, they can deny a worker the right to health care. And it's wrong. It's really wrong. So it's really important. We understand this issue because we were right here before the court this time last year fighting the very same foe. So we understand how important it is to not allow anyone to use religious liberty or, frankly, any other reason to discriminate because it's wrong.
Well, you raise this issue of discrimination, and it seems like, as we've seen recently in Arizona, that the right is using religion, as you said, in a very cynical way to try and justify discrimination and, I suppose, to try and legitimize it in some way. This case today, I think it's been called the Hobby Lobby case. And it's essentially about this idea that a corporation, which of course is not a person, a corporation can have religious rights, right?
Well, yeah, it's really about corporations controlling what their employees do and choose in their own personal lives and with their own personal health care. And, once again, it's wrong, not only because it is absolutely true what you said, which is corporations are not people and therefore do not have religious liberty, but also because it is wrong to use this excuse. And in particular, it feels particularly wrong to me as a person of faith to actually see religious liberty used as the excuse or the opportunity to discriminate. So, people are very riled up about this. The court is, there are thousands of people out front of the court, making sure that it's very, very clear that women ought to have the right to their own conscience about their bodies and about their health care. And that's what we're here for today.
And just to go back to this issue of bosses controlling employees' health care, essentially this case is about one particular company that is trying to use religion as an excuse not to give its employees access to family planning and reproductive health care, right?
Right. Well, what it is that, the Affordable Care Act actually includes that family planning and reproductive health care as a part of what is offered through the Affordable Care Act. And what this company is trying to do is say that based on its religious liberty, rights to its religious liberty, it should not have to offer, even if the Affordable Care Act says that contraceptive care is a part of that and family planning is a part of that act, that it should not have to allow that if it does not believe in contraceptive care. So again, a corporation acting as a person, wielding this notion of religious liberty as though it's a person, and doing it so that it is actually discriminating because it is actually excising a particular piece of the act of healthcare from only a minority of people who work.
And I suppose that's in a sense potentially denying millions and millions and millions and millions of women access to what is, basic health care for women, which is reproductive health care, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's, the notion that there's a very limited number of people who this will impact. This will impact millions of people. It will impact millions of women. And you know what? When it impacts millions of women, it impacts millions of families, men, children, and everyone else. Because this is truly about a woman's access to health care, full health care. And reproductive health care is a part of a woman's life. We cannot change that about who we are as women. We have to have reproductive health care as a part of our overall health. We can't, excise that part of our bodies from ourselves. And in fact, these companies are saying, hey, you can go and get, your heart looked at, but you can't get reproductive health care. It makes no sense at all, and it is blatant discrimination.
Well, on that note, I know you're going to be speaking today. I know you're going to be giving it your all today. And there is a very, very large number of people outside in the snow right now listening to a whole litany of speakers, including a lot of people of faith this morning. Darlene Nipper, good luck with your remarks today. And, of course, good luck in defeating this particular move by the right to control our bodies again.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Mark. And I know we will defeat this foe.